Hello, and welcome to Color Commentary. I'm TJ, and this week we're going to be talking about Marvel's What If Episode 2, What If T'Challa Became Star-Lord? And my overall thoughts on this episode is that it is a good episode. It was very touching and heartfelt. It was good to hear, Chadwick Boseman's voice again. One of his last performances. I believe he's going to be doing 3 more episodes of What If, and those will be his final performances for Marvel. Um, it was good to see his character design and to see him, and to hear him rather, uh, clearly enjoying this part. This was a very, very good episode. Now, for spoilers. Spoilers! Okay. Well, this episode was okay. I mean, it was good. It didn't have the dramatic action that the first episode had, but it started off with, of course, like it did in Guardians of the Galaxy, with Peter Quill going to get the Power Stone. This time it was T'Challa going to get the Power Stone. And they changed it immediately once he got it, and the security guys came in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he told them he was Star-Lord, Peter Quill, and they was like, "Who?" No, this time T'Challa said, "Well, you may know him by another name, Star-Lord," and before he could get it out, the security dudes was like, "Star-Lord, oh, I love you, you're great, you're the greatest guy in the world, greatest guy in the galaxy." I guess he's doing his little Robin Hood thing. Apparently, T'Challa has been going through the galaxy ever since Yondu picked him up in 1988, apparently. And they got the wrong kid because he outsourced it. That was the what if. What if Yondu had outsourced getting the child for Ego, the Living Planet, like he did in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? And he did. He outsourced it to Kraglin and Taserface. And they picked up the wrong kid. They assumed that the Vibranium cosmic signature was what they were looking for. He was the kid because he had threw his spear outside of the Wakandan bubble. He had already got into a discussion with his father as a little kid. He was like 10, saying that he wanted to explore the world, and his father telling him the world ain't got nothing out there to offer us, and Wakanda is doing what is best to maintain itself. But you do got the heart of an explorer, son, even though you got the blood of a king running through your veins. So he was out playing, throwing his spear, and went outside the force field, and that's when they got him. And so he decided to stay with them, see the universe, see the world, explore like he wanted to do in the first place. So all this time, 20 years, he'd been exploring the galaxy, doing his thing. He even managed to get Thanos to not destroy half the universe with a conversation. Seems kind of strange, but yeah. For T'Challa, not so much. I think he did a good job with that. And so then what happened next was they had decided that, Nebula showed up in her femme fatale noir look, long blonde hair. She had less, augments to her because, of course, Thanos wasn't torturing her anymore because he's part of the Guardians now. Yeah, he's one of the Guardians helping T'Challa. He's part of T'Challa's team. He's on the team. It's pretty cool to see him as a good person and to see him, not so angsty, Thanos. It was kind of weird. But anyway, Nebula shows up. She got a heist for them to go on at the Collector's place, which is the head of the cutoff head of the Celestial, i.e. Nowhere, which we saw in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And they decided to do this heist, in which they described the heist while doing the heist, which was cool to save time. And they were going to steal the embers of something that was supposed to grow something. It was like green stuff, provide food for the galaxies, and that was a great idea. So T'Challa's right on it, even though Yondu didn't want to because the Collector had the stuff, so he didn't want to be bothered. But T'Challa, conversation, talked him into it. And they went and did that heist. They had to fight the Collector, which was kind of swole, a lot different from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But apparently he took over the role of, evil person in the galaxy once Thanos decided to be a good person. So I guess he got swole to do that. He had a bunch of folks' weapons and things in his collection, and Yondu and T'Challa had quite a time trying to beat him, but they tricked his ass and got him in one of his little boxes. And then Karina, the pink-skinned alien that he had with him before, they gave her his bracelet And she let everything out the cages so they could get his ass. And yeah, they got him. And then it was so sad to see that during the 20 years that T'Challa had been gone, his father had actually been looking for him. Had sent Dora Milaje out into space to find him, which was cool to see that they were traveling in space. But the collector had got a hold of him, and you seen Dora Milaje outfits on mannequins inside of the little ship that they were flying out in space. It was so sad. But that's the ship that him and Yondu ended up getting off of nowhere on. And then at the end of it all, they finally decided to go back home. He was like, I don't know what I should do. I found out because Yondu had told him that Wakanda had been destroyed just so he could stay with him. But in the end, he found out the truth from the ship that he found, and he finally made the choice to go back home. And he went home with his new family, the Guardians, and introduced them to everybody, and it was kind of sweet, I gotta say, to see all of that happen. And then at the end of it all, Ego finds Peter at a Baskin Robbins, I believe it was. No, it was a Dairy Queen, at a Dairy Queen working. And so that's going to end badly because of what happened in Guardians of the Galaxy when, Ego had already planted seeds on so many planets, and he was trying to use his children as power batteries so that he could take over the universe. So Peter, having not had that family to fight him off in the future of that timeline, I'm thinking that's going to be a pretty bad thing for Earth because, Peter doesn't have that family connection now. And Ego got him. So don't know what's going to happen with that, but this what if T'Challa became Star-Lord would be loved throughout the galaxy, stop Thanos from destroying half the galaxy and half the universe, and things will be a lot better throughout the universe because he's doing his little Robin Hood thing with the Guardians. So for all of that was a pretty interesting episode, I gotta say. I can't wait to see next week's episode. I'm hoping that it'd be a bit more action-packed. This one had some action, but it was mostly talking. But I was still glad to see Chadwick Boseman, and they had a nice little dedication at the end to him that was really sweet and heartfelt. Can't wait to see next week's episode, like I said. To talk to you guys about it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next week for Marvel's What If Episode 3. See you then.